back home from work and look who's here. Hey, buddy, come on in. How was your day today, huh? How was your day? Was it good? Did you make any new friends today? Oh, what a nice kitty cat. Oh, I got some birds. It's bird time. Let's get them birds out of your fur. Birds, not birds. Mostly in the tail. Oops. Ooh. Hey, buddy. How are you doing? Yeah? What a nice little kitty. What a nice little kitty cat. How nice of you to join. How nice of you to join me this evening or afternoon or whatever. Oop. Hey, and this one's in her tail. Oh, there we go. Got it. I got it. Got some hair in the phone. So a couple days ago, I was driving my Explorer. I had a few people in there for lunch or whatever. And I had a brief message on the Explorer saying, check charging system, then it went away. And I had the alternator replaced a year ago or so. It's funny because you had to take the alternator off in order to do spark plugs and wires, so I had it removed like a month before. I should have probably just replaced it because it had 200,000 miles at the time. But I didn't, and then it ended up needing to be replaced after about 200,000 miles, which is not bad for an alternator. And so I had an alternator replaced like a year and a half ago, and then a couple days ago I had the check charging system, and it flashed and disappeared. I'm like, oh, okay, that's weird. And then a day or two later, I went to start it, and in the morning after it sat for several hours overnight, it barely started. I'm like, ooh, that's interesting. So it drove fine, and then got it to work, and then, I didn't drive it. Took someone else's car for lunch, and didn't drive it until that day on the way back home, and it barely started, and it was so weird. It barely started, and when it started, everything on the speedometer was like buried to nothing. So it's like it took a while for the electronics to come back, and they got a lot of weird dummy lights going off, like a check advanced traction control, all that crap. So there was insufficient voltage, and it took a while to get going. So I'm thinking, okay, battery's probably bad. And I knew the battery's from mid-2012. I bought it in late 2014, and it's 2019 now. That battery's way older than they should really last. And so, something I learned from my dad, good advice, is the moment a battery shows any indication of being a problem, you replace it. Don't screw around with it. Just replace it. They're not terribly expensive. It's a consumable item. Normally I get batteries at Costco. They're cheaper. And when I do that, I have to find somebody that has a membership because I don't. But I think I'm just going to go to the Ford dealer because I called them, and for a Motorcraft battery, which is an excellent brand battery, it's $129, which Costco is generally like $88 to $90 or whatever, for like a $30 difference. I'm just going to go to the Ford dealer so I don't have to inconvenience a friend of mine with a Costco card. Plus, Motorcraft is a Ford name, so I like to keep things that whenever possible. I'd say I got a good run. 2012, mid-2012 battery, so that's an old battery. It's what, 7 years? Something like that. It's not bad for a modern battery. They're kind of garbage now. You want some more food? Your food's gone. We'll have to get you some more food. So that's story time for you. That's the life of a normal person. I like to do all my most of my work myself on my vehicle. There are certain things I'm not comfortable with. A little gross, little slug in there. We'll wash them out. Clean that before I put food in there. Nasty. We'll do that later. Anyway, maybe we'll get you some treats in the meantime, huh? I've saved probably thousands in my lifetime just working on my own car. Within reason, there's certain things I'm not comfortable doing, as I mentioned before. Like tire rotation, oil changes, replacing sensors, stuff that's bolt on, bolt off. Generally isn't too bad. My dad and I have worked on cars since I was a kid, and that's kind of a fun pastime. Saving a lot of money. Nothing too crazy, of course, but we've done fuel pumps, suspension components, power steering lines, that kind of thing. And the trick is, if you want to do your own work in vehicles, obviously you need some basic tools or whatever, but you want to YouTube what you're doing before to kind of know what you're getting into. And YouTube is usually what makes or breaks my decision to do something, because I'll be watching them, busting out some tools I don't want to either own or have to worry about, or they get into something that's absolutely crazy that I don't want to have to deal with. And there's times that I've gotten into a repair, and I'm like, I'm not going to do this. This is crazy, where I just can't get something. I just kind of button it back up and bring it to a pro. But that happens every once in a while. Don't let it hurt your pride too much, because the times you do succeed, you save hundreds of dollars, if not more sometimes for even the simple things. Brakes, that's another thing that we do. Brake pads, rotors, that's easy. When you get into the more like annoying things like bleeding brakes, having to replace calipers, I don't screw around with that kind of stuff. I don't deal with that. Well, I like the more basic stuff, right? The easy stuff that you still save a lot of money on. Isn't that right, little Cinnabon? What car would you drive if you could drive a car, huh? I could see you in a Zastava Yugo or a East German Trabant. Can't pronounce those right. What else? A Chevy Sonic? You'd fit in there well. Or a smart car? I could see him in a smart car. Or what do they call it? A MiG? MG? MiG? MG? MiG's a Russian jet. Maybe it's just an MG. Yeah. Come here. Boop. What a nice kitty. Very content. He's not going to be happy with me tomorrow because either tomorrow or Saturday morning or midday Saturday, I'm going to be cutting the grass and needs it pretty bad. And he's not a fan of the lawnmower. He's gone. He'll be gone all day. After I mow the grass, it usually takes an hour or two before he'll come near me. So, but I got to do it, buddy. Got to do it. I don't like mowing the grass. Well, I do like it, but I got to do it. Aw, what a nice kitty. What a nice kitty cat. What a good kitty cat. Oh, bunny kicks. I do the bunny kicks. What a good little kitty. Oh, I feel another burr. Got it. Just put that aside. Oh, what a good kitty. Gonna roll over for us again? Oh, it's gonna... Okay, you can just wash yourself. That's cool. So just thought I'd do a little rant on that. Just, when you own a vehicle that's from 2005 with almost 250,000 miles, you run into unforeseen things that I've never even heard of breaking. One time, I was driving it once and it made a horrible screeching sound. And it was so loud, somebody actually honked at me when they were passing me. And then the sound suddenly went away, and I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. Kept on driving. You know, everything seemed fine. Nothing was, all the gauges were good. So I kept on driving. And then the next morning, I went to start it. And when it started, and I looked, and I could see a part of the serpentine belt was off the pulley. And it was pretty bad. And I knew what it was. It's called a harmonic balancer. It's a common issue with the 0205 Explorers. They just seize up, or the pulley comes off, and the belt rides on just bare metal. And that's what caused a screeching sound. And that's something I don't feel comfortable dealing with. It's a fairly major engine component, so I had it towed. And the tow truck driver was like, hey, what's wrong with it? You know, they always ask. Again, it's kind of a good question, right? It's a good way to break the ice. And I said, oh, the harmonic balancer broke. He's like, what the heck is that? Except he didn't say heck. He said a naughty word I can't say because there's kids watching, right? And there's a cat here. I don't know how old he is, so I'm going to refrain from profanity around him. Yeah, that's right. You probably swear. Did you just swear right now in kitty language? Yeah? Yeah, did you? Oh, I don't think so. No. Nope. What a good little kitty cat. So tomorrow I'm going to pop a new battery in that bad boy. See how she does. I was going to leave it on a charger overnight and then test it in the morning, but I just took the battery out. When I got home, after I've been driving for, 25 miles, you know, the alternator's been charging that battery. I parked in the garage, turned it off, waited a few seconds, it started right up. All the stupid dummy lights went away. That's a battery. I'm 99.999 sure. 99.9999% sure. Bad battery. Especially that I know it has a new alternator in it. Isn't that right, little buddy? And if it's the alternator, that's pretty easy because you have to remove it anyway to do plugs and wires, and we've done that before, haven't we? Although that was before he was here. Yeah? That was when I was at Mom and Dad's house and you weren't around. I don't even know if you were alive back then. That was a long time ago. Actually, no, that wasn't that long ago. That was longer than I think. That was actually about 3-4 years ago now. 1.5 years. When you get older, kind of lose track of time, isn't that right? Between 20 and 30 goes by fast. That's what I was told when I turned 20, and they were right, even though I'm not 30 yet. No, not yet. Are you 30 in cat years? Yeah? Are you 30 in cat years, Cinnabon? I kind of like supporting the local Ford dealer, too. There's a town just north of me that has, just a smaller town, but it has just about everything you'd want. Movie theater, multiple auto parts stores, rural area, so you have, 6+ gas stations with only 2 of them working reliably. Prices are low. The movie theater is very small. Tractor Supply, got an Arby's, McDonald's, Meijer, which is basically a Walmart, if you don't know what a Meijer is. And Oh, okay. Dollar Tree. You gotta have a Dollar Tree. That's where I buy a lot of his stuff. So maybe I'll stop at the Dollar Tree after the Ford dealer, huh? Ford dealer's been good to me. One time I was doing rear brakes and I knew I had a bad wheel bearing. And sorry to bore you if you don't care to hear about cars, but for those of you car people, you know, if you have a Ford Explorer, you probably know what a wheel bearing is and how much it is to replace it. But it's a wheel bearing that requires a press to do it, and I don't have that. I don't want to bother with it. So doing the rear brakes, and I noticed on the side that had the sound of the bad wheel bearing, it had like a 1/4 inch of play in it, which is extremely dangerous. I didn't know they can get that bad and not fall off the car. So needless to say, I buttoned that thing up, called Ford, and that was a Friday night. They're the only place open. Normally I don't bring my car to dealerships for like repairs like that, but it was cheap. It was $100 lower than what I had, what I like just normally know what most mechanics charge is like $400. Most places charge $500 or so for that type of wheel bearing. But that was a good deal, 2-year warranty, and I had it done there. So I'll give them my business. If I had to pay $30 extra for a battery, that's cheaper at Costco. I'm okay with that. Support a good place that fixed it in 3 hours. While I waited at Meijer for 3 hours, that was kind of annoying. Can you imagine hanging out at a Walmart type place if you don't know what a Meijer is for 3 hours? Well, I did it. It was fun. Had an incident in the food court, which is interesting, but we won't get into that now, will we? No. We don't want to tell people too much weird stuff, do we? So, little Ford dealer, probably family owned. A lot of them are. Give them my business. Is that right? They've done me good before. I'll do them good then. We're going a little long in this video, aren't we? But that's what a lot of people like, so here we go. And I had a request to try to get Cinnabon on video wagging his tail. Oh, there we go. Look at that. As if, wow, as if he understands us. He does wag his tail like a dog sometimes. And a lot of people say that's when they're upset or perturbed, but he does it all the time, like even when he's seemingly not upset. Yeah, see, just a couple little swishes there. There we go. Look at that tail, just going crazy. What you doing? What you doing? What a nice cat. Look at you. Aw, he's very affectionate. I'm happy it's a weekend. I'll spend a lot more time with him away from work. It's a nice therapeutic thing for all of us, isn't it? Away from work, at home. Great outdoors. Gotta cut the nasty grass. It's a 3-hour excursion. Not too bad. Even though it scares him. But we'll make it up to you later, right? Sunday we can chill, okay? Well, I think it's time to get him some food. So we will see you all later. And thanks for watching. And I hope you have a great Thursday night. Bye-bye. Or whenever. This will probably be Friday or Saturday when I post this. But have a good night regardless. Bye-bye.